Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
Live cat, dead cat. Hey, where do dead cats go? Purgatory.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow but hopefully comedic and once in a while interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And I am Skinny.
How you doing, Skinny boy?
I'm amazing.
You were just talking about
I'm excellent. Oh, it warms my heart to say how amazing I am. It makes people feel so good.
It throws people off. I just saw it in action. Well, that's a little hot, isn't it?
Yeah,
I saw it in action when we stepped into the
wardrobe
adjacent thrift shop.
The wardrobe room.
And people stop. How you doing?
I say,
I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
And they just go.
And actually, she stopped and said, what'd you say? And I said, and I, because we were inside and I had a mask on, so I put my mask down. I'm amazing. And then she just shakes her head and says, yeah, you are. Oh, bringing people to that point of mutual understanding as to my own amazingness. It's good to have things to agree upon, is all I'm saying.
Maybe that's the meaning behind that Beatles song, Come Together Over Me.
Yeah, over me.
Come together over me. I'm amazing.
Bringing people together. I find that having common belief structures is really helpful.
Totally, of course.
And so if people believe that I'm amazing, then we can all get we can all get around.
That's the unifying belief.
We can all get
structure.
around. Yeah. Hey man.
If I believe anything, I believe this one thing. Skinny is amazing.
Amazing. It doesn't matter whether he is or he's not, because he looks marvelous.
He looks in his skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Everything is skinny jeans for you.
Well, when I put it on, it becomes tight. So I guess it's skinny jeans. Is that the definition?
No, anything you put on is skinny because you're skinny.
Like spandex?
Skinny. On you.
Amazing.
I got Mark jeans. You got skinny jeans.
I wish I had skinny jeans. Whatever. Like genetics, I mean. But
exactly. Don't we all?
Whatever. So it's a solid week. We're heading into it. We've got a fantastic idiom lined up for our Village Idiom children today.
Boy, do we.
Man, it was difficult to fit this idiom into a tiny context.
There's
just so much material.
It's a skill.
There's so much material.
Yeah, you're right. And, all right, fine.
Not enough room to swing a cat.
You want to hear it again just because the accent's so
French.
Fantastic?
Not enough room to swing a cat.
Yeah.
There you go. Not enough room to swing a cat.
Now, maybe you've heard this before out there, and you can comment in if you have, but I've always heard it as swing a dead cat.
So, on my brief research, it's two different sayings.
Oh.
So, not enough room to swing a cat means it's a tiny space.
Right.
But the sort of opposite of that is you can't swing a dead cat without hitting fill in the blank.
Like there's so many of something
that
you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting one?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a bike.
I literally only heard this in the context of dead cat. Yeah, so I'd assumed it was the other way.
Yeah, so two, maybe we'll get to that one.
Maybe it conflates them.
It probably does. I'm sure people, Dundrearism, combine them and say them right and wrong and mix them up.
Not enough room to swing a dead cat.
At a bike.
Right. Maybe then quickly writes down Ridley to make sure he has one for this episode.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think it's two different ones. Now, they might have had the same origin. I didn't come across that. They might have I didn't research you can't swing a dead cat without fill in the blank to know if it's got the same history. So maybe I should have, but I did come across both as I was looking up. There's not enough room to swing a cat. I'm like, oh yeah, there's that one. Especially when I was trying to find audio clips.
Okay.
That one, the dead cat one, came up way more often. But when you're talking about an idiom and it's a fictional cat, dead, alive.
Schrodinger. Is that cat dead? Is that a cat alive?
Depends on the idiom. Or does it? Or is it both?
It's both idioms.
You guys can do your own research on Schrodinger's cat.
That is such a narrow joke.
Right?
Yeah. It's Schrodinger's idiom. Yeah.
Schroding's a bell.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Schrodinger.
Live cat, dead cat. Hey, where do dead cats go? Purgatory. Is that just the sickest dad joke?
So that's great. Stupid. I'm personally offended.
Purgatory.
I am personally offended that a bad joke is a dad joke.
Oh, you don't like that?
Because most dad jokes
like a groaner?
Are puns.
Yeah.
That's it. We've talked about this just a few episodes ago. And that's some of the best humor is a pun or play on word. In fact, Dundrearyism, going back to
Wowie.
What idiom was that?
That was about 3 or 4 ago. Wasn't that long?
Yeah, do you remember what it was though?
No, it's not important.
Anyway, it's a play on words. It's a mixing up of a couple letters. It's purgatory, like purgatory. It's funny. What do you call bears with no ears? It's funny.
I think that cracks me up. On an aside, which is different when, just say hypothetically, you murdered somebody.
Hypothetically.
Just say hypothetically. But you see in those drowning scenes, you always go to the bottom.
What? Oh, yeah.
But the body always comes back up.
Not in Dexter.
Okay, got a point. You got me on that one.
Let's say you hypodermically killed somebody.
Right, with their own skin.
See, that was Dundrearyism. Let's say you hypodermically
killed somebody with a needle.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so I always thought that was amazing. Like, so in talking about dead cats, something like a dead body sinks to the bottom of like the lake or whatever.
But
then, yeah, I don't know if it's gases or bloating or something, but it comes back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
How do we get on to floating bodies? Why are we searching the bottom?
Oh, it's just interesting on talking about dead cats. What? Do you know how to make a dead cat float?
What?
Can of root beer and 2 scoops of dead cat.
Is that why we got there?
I don't know.
Oh.
So, whether it's in that Schrodinger's cat or is the cat dead, is the cat alive?
Cat float. It actually took me. So I thought it was funny already. How do you make a dead cat float? Because root beer, and you had just said gas, so I was actually like, root beer and ice cream is what killed the cat, but now it'll float. But then I realized, like a root beer float. This all went through my brain. It took me a while to actually get back.
There's too many pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in that, so literally I understood this idiom as one idiom until, like, you brought it up. Yeah, that it was swing a dead cat. Right. Not enough room to swing a dead cat.
You brought it up.
Well, that it was...
Potentially 2.
No, I didn't know it was 2. I never would have went to 2 had you not brought it up. It's actually 2.
Oh, got it. Did I ruin things for the future of this podcast?
Oh, well, it is what it is.
By truthing you?
I don't know. We'll get into. I guess we'll get into that later.
Have you ever owned a cat?
Oh, I love cats.
Oh, do you? Do you still own a cat? No,
I don't have one. I was just at a friend's house this morning, and it was so beautiful. So I was with my daughter. The cat was like at the top of the driveway, and we pulled in, and I'm like, oh, there's the cat, Spike, and I'm like, hey, kitty, and it just walks away. I'm like, that's why I love cats.
Cat
yeah,
right there.
I'm like, that's why I love cats. They're like, I don't need you. I don't care about you. Dog's way more shallow than that.
Yeah.
Cat's like, I'm good. Just walks away.
I'm definitely a dog person over cat person.
Yeah.
My son and my daughter-in-law had, long story short, they needed somebody to visit and walk their dogs while they were unable to in a way. So I marked myself down for 4 nights in a row. I'm like, I'll go every night after supper, no problem. And they have a big, huge standard poodle. Big.
Does it need lots of walking? Is it?
It does. Okay. It's a big dog, and so.
But it'll survive a week without much.
It's. What do you mean? Without? Well, it'll survive.
Sure.
But it's not good pet keeping.
Wow.
But anyway. I would spend time with dogs all day, but cats they don't need me.
Yeah, that's their best part. So when they come to you, it's like it wants that. It's not emotionally shallow.
Right.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
Yeah. Dogs are needy.
They're needy.
Yeah.
And needy messes.
I saw a short little clip.
good.
Now we're talking a lot about
Needy's
dogs,
not good.
not cats, but on the episode called No Room to Swing a Cat.
Okay.
But I saw this short little, it's not really a dad joke, but the short little, I think it was on, what are them kids watching these days?
Blue's Clues.
The social media. Wow, I'm blanking out
The
right now.
TikToks.
On the TikToks. This guy, hey, Dad, comes into the room filming. I'm sure it was set up, but whatever. Hey, Dad, Mom says she thinks you like the dog more than you like her. That's ridiculous. Well, that's what she thinks. Well, here, let me put it this way. If I locked the two of them in the trunk of the car for 48 hours and then opened it, who's going to be happy to see me?
Exactly.
I'm like, that's amazing.
Hilarious.
So no room to swing a cat. There's no
cat.
pun. There's no idiom that's like not enough room to swing a dog. Although, I was at the mall.
Okay.
And seeing eye dog with a guy, and he had, I mean, not to stereotype, but
Cool
classic,
sunglasses. Yep.
cool sunglasses, and a seeing eye dog walking around. And he walks into this store that I'm at, and I see there, and he kind of just stands there for a second and starts to undo the harness of the dog. And I'm like, that's kind of weird for a seeing eye dog.
Does it pick clothes for him?
So I'm literally stopped and watching now.
Yeah, like this is interesting.
It wasn't a big dog. Usually they're like a German Shepherd. This was more like, I don't know, medium sized, little on the smaller side. And he sets the harness down. Dog doesn't move, very obedient, and grabs the dog by the tail.
You
Starts swinging the dog around. Over his head, like this.
Awesome.
And the employees come running over.
Okay.
Sir, what are you doing? What are you doing?
There's not room to swing a dead dog around?
I'm just looking around.
Fantastic.
Yeah. There you go. That was unplanned. I could hardly get through that.
I don't think you did.
Okay.
You dropped that look in your face and then it just broke down.
I couldn't do it. It's such a terrible joke.
Room to swing a cat.
That one gets cut off.
Room to swing a cat.
Room to swing a cat.
It sounds like
Not enough room to swing a cat.
the redhead girl from Game of Thrones.
Well, that's from Crazy Head.
And so I did come across a little joke there on the internet.
Oh, yeah,
that, is fairly stupid, but illegitimate children, this one's for you out there. Okay, so NASA reports that...
Wait, it's for them, like they're jumping in guessing, or just for them to enjoy?
Well,
Is this
for
a
them
game?
to enjoy.
Am I guessing something?
You don't have to guess anything.
I'm so excited for a second.
NASA reports that the Mars rover ran over a feline today, proving that curiosity did kill the cat.
What? Mars rover?
The Mars rover, yeah. Which is, if I have to explain it, it's not good.
The Mars rover
Yeah.
rode over a feline.
Yeah, the name of the Mars rover, the current one anyways, is
Is curiosity.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
So that's what I'm saying. If
I thought
I wanted to
Mars
get
rover,
together-
rover being the classic name for a dog.
Oh, so there's more joke in there. It needs work.
But there's jokes.
There's jokes in there. Anyways,
Anyway.
it's always super fun. That's why I hang out with different friends when I don't want them to get my jokes. But I hang out with you because you're so sharp all the time.
Was that a shot at me? I can't tell.
It's hard to tell.
I'm like, maybe, I don't know where that landed.
It's all good. Enough foolish things.
All right.
We demand to know where this idiom came from.
I said some words, where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origins.
These shirts are an assault to the
visual
a
assault.
visual assault.
I hear that Stripes slim you out, so we're both skinny today.
I thought
I don't know.
after I was just messing with you, I thought you were going to do something like, I heard the stripes are very slimming. Apparently not.
No, I'm genuinely enjoying it.
That's good.
We kind of chose these shirts to be visually assaulting, but I'm kind of digging mine. I'm keeping it. I think I'll wear this.
Yeah, it's a nice shirt.
I mean, I like the shape of it. I just wish it wasn't. I wear a lot of Hawaiian shirts. It kind of has
Sure.
that vibe, but it's striped.
It's
Anyway,
a good shirt. Anyways, where did this come from?
let's talk about the dirty and the nerdy. Okay. Origins of No Room to Swing a Cat. So this is first recorded in the theological and medical treatise. How do you say this word?
Treatise?
Treatise or treatise?
Treatise.
But then, how do you say treatise? Like between...
Like Nabisco whole wheat. It's a treatise.
No, there's a treatise. Treaties are between the European settlers and...
Oh, I see.
Is this a treatise?
It's a treatise.
Hey Google, how do you pronounce the word treatise?
That's pronounced treatise.
Treatise. Well, I think you were trying to trick me on that one. Make me say treatise for an entire episode. But no, it was a trick and treatise.
Trick or treatise.
Trick or treatise. All right, it's first recorded in theological and medical treatise. Medela. Oh, right. I'm looking up how to pronounce treatise, and the next two words are Medela Pestilentiae. Wherein.
Goggle. How do you say? Continue.
Several theological queries concerning the plague with approved antidotes for said plague. Signs and symptoms, also an exact method for curing epidemical distemper. So blah blah blah. It's presented to the Right Honourable and Right Worshipful Lord Mayor, Sheriff of the City of London in 1665 by. This is written by Richard Kephale, who was a dissenting minister. Always good ministers are the dissenting ones. The author showed the poor as especially liable to a plague. So he's seeming less appealing with every bit of information about Richard Kephale. Their living conditions and the nature of the disease seeming to be symbiotically connected. So this is what he wrote. At this present, most of those houses which are infected are the inhabitations of poverty. In some obscure close place in the suburbs as towards St. Giles, one house I know more especially by Cursitor's Alley, where the man, his wife, and child lived in a room that looked more like, for bigness, a great chest than anything else. They had not enough space, according to the vulgar saying, to swing a cat in. So hot by reason of closeness, and so nastily kept besides. So he is referring to a vulgar saying. Now, we think of the word vulgar as inappropriate sure. and rude. But as we know from the 1811 Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue, which was a fantastic birthday present that Skinny gave me in regards to our life in the idiom world, it could be any sort of off-the-cuff saying or idiom or slang more than it is actually vulgar. There's a fair amount of vulgar in there, but as we rooted through when I first got the book.
It wasn't entirely safe for work.
No, exactly. But in a sort of old English way that it still seems safe for work.
Rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the vulgar tongue, he still wrote it in a way.
Inappropriate and rude, not like dropping MFs and stuff.
No, yeah. Anyway, so that's how old this saying is. No room to swing a cat goes back to, what did I say, 1665 at least. So that's the oldest use as an idiom in print, which is always interesting because then it tells you sort of the age of the saying and origins to begin with. So it's often been said that no room to swing a cat. Sorry, before I even say this next part, did you have any preconceptions of the origins?
Not a one.
None. Okay, so I had heard this way back when, forgot about it till I read it again. It's often been said that no room to swing a cat originally came from the swinging of Cat of Nine Tails.
Okay, I had heard a hint of that, yes.
So Cat of Nine Tails, if you aren't familiar, is basically a torture device.
No, yes.
Made up of 3 strands or 3 ropes, typically with claws or rocks or hooks or whatever at the ends of those.
Yes, I did hear of a round story. Yes, I've heard of that.
That version.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't fully know that it's true or not.
Right.
It's just that swinging a cat, as soon as you go swing of a cat, it's Cat of Nine Tails.
Right. Yep. Okay, so Cat of Nine Tails is one theory, an incorrect theory of where no room to swing a cat comes from. Now, side note on Cat of Nine Tails, when I think of Cat of Nine Tails, my brain goes to like biblical torture.
Lashes.
But Cat of Nine Tails apparently is not that old. It's connected to like British seafaring. The captain will publicly punish you on the deck with a cat of nine tails so that the rest of the crew...
the Lord Flesh ripping.
No, I mean, I'm
Via
not
Dolorosa.
saying those types of torture devices didn't happen, but called cat o' nine tails is
Yeah, that it was like barbed off nine lashes with like
I wonder if that represents the cat's 9 lives.
maybe. Wow,
Why 9?
it's German.
It's a no-no stick. 9.
It's a no stick. Cat of 9.
So here's why it seems unlikely, because the attestation of both the phrase itself and cat o' nine tails, one predates the other and not in a favoring order for it to be the origin of this idiom. So I won't even bother. Well, so this came from a comedy written by English poet playwright William Congreve, and this is 1670, or he lived in 1670 to 1729. This was performed in 1695. There's this one line: "Look you, young woman, you may learn to give good words. However, I spoke ye fairly, see and civil. As for your love or your liking, I don't value it of a rope's end. And mayhap I like you as little as you do me. What I said was in obedience to father. Gad, I fear a whipping no more than you do. But I tell you one thing: if you should give such language at sea, you'd have a cat o' nine tails laid across your shoulders." So that is the earliest reference to cat o' nine tails in print, and so researchers, experts believe that because it's not in print any earlier than that, it really either didn't have the title or the weapon didn't exist much earlier than that. So not an origin to not enough room to swing a cat. Also, just historically, if it's associated with seafaring ways, like I said earlier, it wouldn't be in the captain's cabin where there's not enough room to swing it. It would always be on deck on full display.
Sure, and it wasn't the captain like necessarily doing the
Probably
lay
not.
down like some first mate.
Yeah, so even the meaning behind the idiom doesn't really pair up with where this would take place.
Yep, I see where you're going.
Yeah. So I'm not making this up. Just these are all people trying
Sure.
to dig into this from various sources. So the phrase therefore might have actually originated from a cruel game consisting in swinging a cat by its tail. And that is, of course, cruel. However, I remember a friend when I was a kid picking his cat up by the tail and swinging it around a few times and
Crazy.
launching it into the yard. And it turned my stomach at that age. I was just like, wasn't brave enough to
Right.
shut it down or say anything, but it was like, oh my goodness. And the cat
Maybe that's where it came from with because it would have had claws out at the end, and then if it caught you or something.
yeah, maybe. So they think it may have originated. This is the most likely thing, that it came from some form of animal cruelty towards cats. So because there's evidence of other mistreatment of cats that for sure existed in a few Shakespeare plays, it's actually talked about. So in Much Ado About Nothing, which is 1599, of course, Shakespeare, Benedict confirms his resolve of no yielding love by saying this: "If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat, and shoot at me, and he that hits me, let me be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam." So it's like, that old thing.
Putting a cat in a bottle.
Like when you put a cat in a bottle and shoot at me. You
Yeah.
know that game.
Classic.
In the what was the other one?
Darts, twiddly winks,
Another
sticking a cat in a bottle, checkers.
Oh, here. This was a commentator about the plays of William Shakespeare made this remark about what Benedict just said. In some counties of England, a cat was formerly closed up with a quantity of soot in a wooden bottle, kind of like how a shepherd would carry their liquor, and was suspended on a line. And he who beat out the bottom as he ran under it and was nimble enough to escape its contents was regarded as the hero in this inhuman diversion. So there was a
So I
cat
can
swinging
buy animal cruelty
for $1.
I'd buy that for $1. Like going back in time, like just a disregard for like people life. So
Right.
So disregard for a pet's life or
Sure.
animal's life, no problem. But I still like the swinging of a cat. It's like too weird specific in my mind.
Okay, well, how about this? There's other idioms that are connected to this quite closely, not the dead cat one, however. To draw through the water with a cat, which we don't use anymore, or to whip the cat, both of which are in the good old vulgar tongue. And I've gone back
Crazy.
to cat whipping, or whipping the cat, a trick often practiced on an ignorant country fellow, vain of their strength, by laying a wager with them. So they're basically pranking these guys. They're going to make a bet. Hey, I'll make you a bet that this house cat could pull you through a pond. And so when they say yes, here, I'll read it. The bet being made, a rope is fixed around the waist of the party to be catted, and the end thrown across the pond, to which the cat is also fastened by a pack thread. And 3 or 4 sturdy fellows are appointed to lead and whip the cat, which is going to supposedly pull the guy through the pond. These, on a signal given, seize the end of the cord and, pretending to whip the cat, haul the astonished booby, their words, not mine, through the water. So yeah, it was a prank. I bet you that cat could pull you through the pond. Okay.
Okay, tie yourself to a cat and then pull you in.
They yank him because it's so far across and there's so much flailing about that these 4 dudes pull you through the pond.
When you're in the middle, then throw the cat on top of you.
Right. So it's a cat whipping.
Yeah,
These are guesses at this point.
Animal cruelty. I'm there as much as the next guy, right?
Maybe you want to rephrase that?
But in the context of like swinging a cat, yeah, I just. Did they not abuse any other animals? Like a good dog?
No, it seemed to be.
It's like, what do they got against cats?
I don't know. I mean, we are also thinking of house cats, and cats are actually quite vicious when they're not domesticated.
Yeah, a feral cat.
So maybe having dominion over that.
Putting a puma on the end of a rope,
right?
Throwing it at a guy.
So we've talked about Ben Johnson before.
Yeah.
Not that one.
So like local Ben Johnson or the athlete Ben Johnson?
Not that
or
one.
The back like Lord Ben Johnson?
Not that one.
Okay.
Here's a new one.
Okay.
Ben Jonson, English poet and playwright, had already evoked this trick in the Bartholomew Fair. So he references, so this was truly a thing. He says, "We have been but a day and a half in town, gentlemen. 'Tis true, and yesterday, the afternoon, we walked London to shew the city to the gentlewoman he shall marry, Mistress Grace. But afore I will endure such another half day with him, I'll be drawn with a good gib cat through the great pond at home." So he's referencing it's a well-known prank.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
so all that to say,
we don't know.
No answer.
But there's enough
these
material.
Are all the
there
things
is enough material there
that people are like, could be this, could be this, could be this, and the swinging of a cat, in just the world of animal cruelty and these kind of things that we see in the rougher parts of history. Yeah, it might have been a thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's not good.
No,
but sounds like there's enough of it that it might be true.
Yeah, there's probably. It's less likely cat of nine tails and more likely you can't even swing a cat here.
Wow, you actually can't swing a cat.
Can't swing a cat.
Well, yeah, it would have been less idiomatic back then, because if you're actually, hey, there's not enough room to actually swing the cat in here. This room's not going to work.
Right.
Then it's not an idiom anymore, because you're actually swinging a cat. It doesn't mean anything. It actually means swinging a cat.
The other thing is, it could come from nothing. I mean, we haven't covered this idiom, but it's nothing to shake a stick at. I'm assuming maybe I'm speaking too soon here. I was going to say that probably comes from nothing.
We'll see. I guess
maybe there's enough room to swing a cat.
Episode 340
comes from nothing, and we're trying to create an origin story to it.
Well, it's not like it's like an original tale. Speaking of original or stories so terrible, have you followed any of like the Suicide Squad?
Not really.
Oh,
no.
The new one is so bad.
Is it?
Oh, it's so bad. Oh, anyway.
Wait, who's the main in this one?
Doesn't matter. It's Margot Robbie, and the rest doesn't matter.
Oh, I thought there was somebody new and exciting in this one.
No. Well, it's John Cena.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
It's not good.
Anyway. Well, it wasn't on my list.
Yeah.
Is that still Marvel?
And you know what was worse? Just like get my money back, just because I've got to go off on somebody. Is that new Fast and Furious one?
I haven't seen it.
It's terrible. It is so bad.
John Cena in that too?
Yep.
So it's not worth seeing it?
No, literally rocket themselves into space on like a Pinto with a rocket to adjust a satellite in space. I'm not making that up. And
Is it actually a Pinto?
Their space, no, but whatever.
Man, that'd make it
But
so much better.
Yes, but no. It yeah, and their space equipment is like 1950s deep sea diver bell costume with the it's terrible, man. In space with steering wheel.
They're probably this far in going.
Anyways, I don't even want to get
How far
sorry.
can we push this?
Sorry is bad. So good. So we should get we should wrap this thing up. Have zero expectations.
Seen
so
it,
bad.
Seen it. Haven't seen it.
Probably in it somewhere. So anyways, we should get on to a little bit of riddling.
All right. Whoa. Riddling is a game we like to play that takes a two-part trivia-based question and demands a two-part but overlapping answer. So overlapping by sound or syllable or word. So for example, Skinny, you left us last week with oh my goodness, I'm out of control over here. With this one, during our episode of Mad Hatter, or Mad as a Hatter. He wrote the Chronicles of Narnia and Alice in Wonderland.
That would be C.S. Lewis Carroll.
C.S. Lewis Carroll.
C.S.
Overlapped by the word Lewis, and that's how you play riddling.
That was a weird one. Cracked me up. I've got a couple. You got a couple?
I do have a couple.
Let's
I won't let you down 2 weeks in a row.
Let's get into this. I'll say it twice.
Nice.
Too tiny to fling a feline in Nepal's capital. Too tiny to fling a feline in Nepal's capital.
Well, that eliminates one of mine.
Oh, no.
But I'm going to go with No Room to Swing a Catmandu.
Yes. That's awesome.
Did you know that Catmandu is also a song by Cat Stevens?
No.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's all.
Is that one of your next ones?
Maybe.
Okay.
I got one for you.
Okay.
A very limited feline type of space for Stephen Dimitri Giorgio.
No room to swing a Cat Stevens?
There it is. Nicely done. How did you know?
Well, I'm up on my Cat Stevens. Okay, the Cat Williams.
That'd be a good one.
That's something in our wheelhouse. Okay. This 9-lashed flogger tells stories from the cemetery.
Wait, do we need to leave this one?
This is for our village.
Yeah, I just realized I'm about to answer, but you took my other one.
Well, let me say it twice for our village children.
All right.
You can reach out to us to answer this one on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's Facebook, the YouTubes, or the Twitters at 3 Minutes Gone. Let me say it one more time. Do it. This 9-lashed flogger tells stories from the cemetery.
I like it.
And that is 3 Minutes Gone.
Beauty.
Oh, hey, it's the low-hanging fruit.
I know.
Just don't go low-hanging fruit. That'll be the deal.
I know.
Moving forward. 139 episodes in. How many are we at? 140?
It's 140.
My goodness.
Today.
That's good there. Well, that's about all that for today. Any final words?
No.
Okay, good talk.
Catmandu.
Good talk.
Catman don't.
Catman
Don't see
did.
Fast and the Furious, part 9. Or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's part terrible. It's not part terrible. It's all terrible. I'm Skinny.
And I'm Jurassic, I don't know, Meow Mix Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
That's 3 minutes gone.